Oh, how the tables have turned for the FTC chairman LINA Khan. Let's listen in as Congress cooks LINA with a little bit of ginger, cumin, and spices. This is Island Gaming with Jay, and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Let's see how LINA Khan has failed to protect the US customer. Let's get it.
She's trying to usher in a radical departure from the norms that made the American economy great to a system where her and her cronies have unchecked power over business practices in our country, untethered from any reasonable reading of precedent or statutory law. She's pushed investigations to burden parties with vague and costly demands without any substantive follow-through or frankly logic for the requests themselves. She's centralized the decision-making at the commission within her office, eliminated any pretext of due process or transparency in that decision-making. Her approach is best characterized as one of intimidation followed by inaction. To date, the FTC has not fully complied with a single request for documents from this committee. And because of her mismanagement, not even her own staff is impressed with Chairman Khan's leadership.
Well, that was one of the opening statements. And there we saw where they criticized LINA Khan because every time she attacks these big firms, she does nothing for the consumer. She attacked Apple. What did the FTC do to Apple to make things better for the US consumer? Nothing. Same thing with Twitter, and a matter of fact, some persons would say Twitter got worse. And now she's going after Microsoft. So every major company that LINA Khan attacks, things have gotten worse for the consumer. Let's listen again and see what another congressman said.
Congressman, again, we only bring lawsuits where we believe there is a law violation, given the facts and the law at hand. We fight hard when we believe that there is a law violation, and unfortunately, things don't always go our way, but we make determinations.
But are you bringing cases that you expect to lose?
Could you repeat that?
Are you bringing cases that you expect to lose?
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, your track record seems to suggest otherwise. Let's look more closely at the Activision decision, though. The court first noted that in an attempt to lower your burden, you essentially made up case law. You couldn't find anything actually that's the courts have provided in terms of precedent, so you cited to your own FTC decision as precedent. But irrespective of the legal standard, the court, you probably wouldn't have won under any standard because the court said this, that the FTC has not raised serious questions regarding whether the proposed merger is likely to substantially lessen competition. Not raised serious questions. The court also rejected not only rejected your assertion of a likely anti-competitive effect, but found just the opposite, that the record evidence points to more consumer access. So why should Americans have faith in your judgment when this Biden-appointed judge says you are so far off the mark?
Congressman, this matter is still pending before the FTC in administrative adjudication, so I'm just going to be limited in what I can say about the merits. Our complaint lays out the staff's view of what this merger would result in and why that would be a law violation.
But the judge roundly rejected it and said there weren't even serious questions, and now having lost, you're spending even more taxpayer money on an appeal that you're even less likely to win because the appeals court is going to defer to the trial court's findings of fact in this very fact-intensive matter. So why are you spending even more taxpayer resources pursuing this appeal?
So I can say again, this was a staff recommendation. I can say it a general matter. Staff always looks closely at an opinion and looks at whether there are certain errors in law that they believe are worth appealing on. Those are in general the types of determinations that go into whether the FTC ends up appealing.
So this is the meat and potatoes of the discussion, because we see the congressman is saying that LINA Khan attempted to block this merger when there was no precedents. There is nothing in history, no other court case that she could point to block a vertical merger. Follow? In addition to that, he's saying that they made up case law. Not only that they made up case law, but he also said that the judge was able to prove that this merger is beneficial to consumers because consumers are getting Call of Duty on more platforms. Prior to Activision Blizzard being bought by Microsoft, only a few consoles and a few platforms had Call of Duty. So how this could be bad for consumers if more gamers are getting to play a Call of Duty game? So did you all notice what LINACON did? LINACON did not take the blame for, going after Microsoft, Activision Blizzard. She said it was the staff. She said her staff is who looked at the matter and decided to go after Microsoft, even when he addressed the appeal, because the congressman said, you outright lost the battle when it comes to blocking the deal, and now you're going to waste more money to appeal that decision. You know what she said? It is the staff who saw that it is beneficial to appeal this decision. So she is not even taking the blame for this. She is blaming the staff. What a low-class person. How dare LINACON? But notice what another congressman did, calling her out on what she did.
You're going to fail. You then took on Microsoft. Microsoft's a big company. Everybody up here seems to want to beat on anyone that has over $1 trillion market cap. And when you served on the committee, you were big on, if you were over $1 trillion, we need to break you up or stop you. However, that merger that you lost the other day is one in which a protected market that Sony enjoys in Japan, a company that is already larger, needs competition. The reality is, we are a global market, and you are thinking only of who you want to go after for some reason. And I cannot find your logic, and I believe that it begins at the top. When you blamed your staff and said staff decisions, shame on you. The fact is, you run this organization, and its left turn came when you took over, not with the staff that many of whom would have already been there.
So it's a good thing that this congressman called out LINACON for blaming her staff for their failures. She being the head, she should take the entire responsibility for every and anything that happened to the FTC, their wins or their losses. That is a mark of a true leader. And a matter of fact, she was even caught. She is not even a practicing lawyer because of her failing to do what she needed to do. Listen to how this last clip, how this congressman calls into question her better judgment.
For the Democrats on this very committee, you use this title, but you are not licensed to practice law. Counsel is a term reserved for lawyers, licensed lawyers. And in Wyoming, a person who in any manner holds themselves as competent to practice law without a license to do so is guilty of unauthorized practice of law. I believe the law in the District of Columbia where you held yourself out is similar. Do you believe it is appropriate for non-lawyers to claim the title of counsel?
Congressman, when I had the honor to work for this committee, I complied with all of the document requests that the HR folks requested, including documentation about the fact
When I checked your registration status this morning, I learned that you are not in good standing with the New York Bar. Your license is listed as delinquent, which means you have failed to file your biennial registrations, and it means that you have not been paying your bar dues, completing your continuing legal education, and maintaining your law license. I believe it's shown on the screen. It also means you're subject to referral for disciplinary action. I find this situation to be stunning and a reflection on your ethics. With that, I yield back.
So it's evident that LINACON is a colossal failure when it comes to protecting the consumer, especially when it comes to gaming. Now, let me hear what you think about it. Do you think that LINACON is doing the right thing? Appeal, fighting Microsoft, fighting Twitter, fighting Apple, and nothing is coming out of it? Let me know in the comment sections below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for more videos. I'll see you in the next one. Later.